My name is Sharon Quinn, and I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. My guest lecturer today is an over 25-year veteran in the fashion industry. Greta Wallace is the designer, stylist, and conceptualist of her own clothing line entitled Simply Greta. Welcome to Model Behavior, Greta Wallace. Hi, Greta.
Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to share with you today.
Thank you for being here. Now, you and I have a long, long history. You were one of the I bring on a lot of designers from my past, but you were there early in my career, and I that's why I wanted you to come, because I've always dug your work, your concepts. Ooh, I like stuff that nobody else is wearing, and that's important to me.
Thank you.
But I want to know how you got started. Let's go back all the way to the beginning.
Okay, I am from Trinidad, and my mother was one of those seamstresses in those small community in a town called Moruga.
Okay.
And as she made bridal dresses for sisters in the community, I became a model all the time. I had to walk as a bridesmaid or a flower girl as a little girl. So I came with the package. And back in those days, you would go and visit houses and ask parents, can your daughter walk in my wedding? Because not everybody had children in their family.
Oh, they used to?
They would come to you, or auntie, or Miss Mabel, or Miss Daphne, or somebody, and say, can so-and-so walk? Because we knew each other.
Oh,
we knew each other's children. So that's how you develop bridesmaids and flower girls and so on. So I walked in many weddings, and I wore many, many beautiful dresses.
So, but how do your stuff is, you know, I'm not even going to jump ahead. But after that, then what was the next one?
After that, I came here to America in the 70s, and I went to high school here at Wingate, and that's kind of where it all started. I won Best Dressed Girl at Wingate High School because Mommy made everything. I knew nothing about shopping. We had to wear clothing because we were used to having things made. And I came from that, always knowing a good fit, quality control, and being different. So I won for Best Dressed Girl in high school. And from there, I started in this industry after graduating and so on. I worked at Saks.
Did your mom teach you how to sew?
I don't sew.
You do? Oh!
And I know, that's unbelievable. I wish I did, but my mom taught me style and fit and quality control and good fabric.
So, but this is your concept.
This is my
that you're wearing. So you come up with the ideas, and someone can sketch your vision for it. I get, okay.
That's why I call myself a conceptualist. A conceptualist, you know, I conceptualize through feeling. There's a feeling in fashion for me. There's a taste. You know, there's a thing that drives you, and accessories play a very important part of that for me.
Yes.
Must have it. You know, it
and
tells
did you design the accessories that you
don't. I collect from many great artists as I travel around the country. Now, fast moving forward, I buy accessories that complements the collection. And I source from other designers from LA to New Orleans to Chicago. This is where I do my thing right now.
Now, so you conceptualize this coat, which if you should leave the room and take it off, you're not getting it back.
And that would be okay too, because you need a piece.
Yes,
we got to get you a piece. Yeah.
So now you've put this together.
Yes.
How do you come up? How do you find the earrings?
Listen. Let me just tell you, if you're not walking BAM, Dance Africa, Atlantic Antic, New Orleans, Chicago, if you're not taking time to go out and find your community, they're existing. This designer is in Brooklyn.
No, I need you to stop.
Yeah.
I need you to say that to camera 2.
This camera right here?
Camera 2,
camera 2. I believe in buying black. I believe in finding my peers, my designer friends that's doing the darn thing. You know, we are out there trailblazing, and the jewelry that I find really represent the culture for me, that diversity, that avant-garde, that funk. And if you're not walking Dance Africa, BAM, which is Brooklyn Academy of Music, maybe Atlantic Antic, and then I leave from there and I head to LA. I am in Chicago, I am in New Orleans, I am everywhere that they might be a really interesting, and I am in Essence. And in these festivals have us, and they are selling the best accessories, and not just any old accessories. They are selling the thing that makes you go, I
And
gotta
that's
have
what
it.
it's all about.
Yes, it speaks to your heart. You can buy an expensive dress and then you get your nails and hair done and then you have on this jewelry that does not compute with all the time that you took to put this thing together. Let me tell you, it's how you wear your accessories really that dictates, not necessarily the garment. It's either none or the best. And it doesn't have to be, it's either none or the best. And it doesn't have to be stones. It could be, this is copper overlaid with patinaed and so on. And I don't want to say the wrong thing about this artist's work because he's phenomenal. And then the ring is copper that's been burnt and heated. And this woman is from Bulgaria.
That
it's phenomenal.
ring is every.
It's
this
phenomenal.
is on my street right here. That ring is everything.
She makes some amazing things, and she finds me in I want to say California when I am at the film festival, which is 12 days long in the Crenshaw Mall, and we're all sitting there waiting for all our people to come through, looking fabulous, wearing the part, conceptualizing the look, and they search you out every year. What did you bring for me? And by then, you better have something for them. Like you would show up, Greta, I need that coat, because it's how you wear it. It is the glam of the energy of the piece that lives inside of you that dictates this style and this conceptualizing that you're following your own path. And other artists gives me that thing called accessories. This young sister is from New Orleans, and she's a beginning artist. And I had to
A beginner?
Yeah, and she was with her family. And we supported her. I love this piece.
Now, when you go to these different festivals looking for accessories to go with your one-of-a-kind garments, do you buy in bulk? How does that work?
I buy for myself, and then I order wholesale later. If they can wholesale, because not everyone can wholesale. You need to find them on the spot and buy your individual pieces from these artists. These artists aren't sitting making, but they will create something for you if they can.
So you can come to them with a concept.
Absolutely.
You didn't conceive this?
No, none of it. I don't have to. They're already doing what I need. I don't have to change anything. They already got what I need. Like this bag, for example. This is a Stuart McLean, and he's out of Atlanta. Stuart McLean.
Okay.
He's out of Atlanta. He's from Trinidad, but he has a business in Atlanta. And he has bags that will just, knock your socks off. But it's all about the conceptualizing of the look.
See, this bag reminds me of a sister. I think is she in Atlanta or Florida? I don't know. Her name is Her bags are called Glagermain.
Okay.
They are just the oddest looking bags. You really have to. They're signature pieces. You got to be confident to carry a bag like that and just work it.
And it's all about that. It's all about the confidence when you feel like you're ready to be different. And what do I want to say about that? About being and setting a standards for others to follow. Because you can buy anything, but you can't wear everything in that way.
But this takes some courage.
Yeah, yes, it does.
It takes courage to be an individual and not sort of fit in the mold of what everybody else is doing. So it's brave, but everybody can't do it.
Each city has an individual that's waiting.
Oh, absolutely.
And we travel for that one person.
Because the thing that breaks my heart is when I see it, particularly my big sisters, and they, you can see they put some effort into it, but they tugging and they pulling, and then I get to them and I'm getting ready to give them a compliment, and they do this.
Hello.
Like, no, you got to own it.
Hello.
Don't put that on and then hold your head down.
Yeah.
You want me to see you.
Yeah.
So this is not time to be invisible.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a shop in Brooklyn?
I work out of my home in Brooklyn. It's personal. You set up an appointment and we fit you at my place. It's 759 Crown Street in the Crown Heights area.
I don't know why I thought, because I know when I met you, it was at the original brownstone on Fifth Avenue in Harlem.
Yes.
And it was an actual brownstone. It was tight up in there.
Yes.
But we were getting it done.
Yes.
We did a lot of shows in there.
Yes.
I have a lot of memories of those times up in there.
And so do I. We really, really set a standard for others to follow at the brownstone. It was the place to be. Princess and I set up, Princess Jenkins was my partner at the brownstone, or maybe I was her partner at the brownstone. But we set up an area and an energy of elegance and style. So when you come in there, you felt like, wow, you were like this. What is going on here? So we sort of got that whole concept down, and that's where it all started. The brownstone was a beautiful place to be. I grew a lot there. is
Now,
good for me.
So what caused you to go off on your own?
It was about 10 years after, and the lease was up, and it was time. It was definitely time that Simply Greta and created her own lifestyle, and that's kind of where it all happens for me.
So do you think you'll ever take up a partner again? Is there no need for that?
There's no need for that right now because it's been done. It's been done. I've had several partners, not just at the brownstone, maybe in buying fabric, maybe in sewing, maybe in creating, but it's done. I have my own sense of style and my own gift.
Yes, you do.
You know, that I think it transcends all other things that I can possibly want to try right now.
Is your mom still with us?
My mom is still with us.
She
She's
must be
80.
very, very proud of you.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. You know, she's beautiful and just turned 80 and still
God bless her.
doing her thing. And I love her to death. You know, I love her to life.
Yeah,
is what
there
they
you
should
go.
say. I love her to life.
You have siblings?
Yeah. Yes, I have one daughter and I have 3 grandchildren. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a grandma. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they're all stylish and doing their thing and so on in fashion as well. My daughter.
So this is all you do, right?
This is what
you do for a living.
This is what I do for a living. I create, I style, I conceptualize, I travel, and create this business venture around the country that someone asked me, when are you coming to North Carolina? I said, create a franchise, I'll be there.
And when you say create a franchise, what do you mean?
Because there's a look, and there are designers that needs to be in one house. So you can find all of this, the ring, the necklace, the this, the that. So if you really wanted a store someplace, I'll be the buyer for that shop of yours called the franchise, whatever you want to name it, your franchise. We're out there, we're available for coming together and creating these cute boutiques for you that you can have everything.
So, okay, so you mean to bring everybody together
Yes.
in like one shop
Yes.
in North Carolina?
Yes. Or Mississippi. You know,
Right, but you're
you know.
talking about bringing local creative
Yes,
people who,
yes.
That's a good idea.
Yes, it's necessary. It's because no one is taking the time to venture out to another city to see a show to find an artist. But there are philanthropists around the country that needs to be opening these shops that we can come together and teach sisters and brothers how to sell, how to meet and greet at the door. If we don't have it, how do we get it? There's a sense of selling that's very valuable right now, not just selling in the gap and, oh, we don't have it. We always have it, or we have someone else who has it.
Or we can get it for you.
Yes. In our lifestyle, if I don't have it, I don't have everything. But I know who has it down the block, at the next booth, around the corner, and I make sure and have them hand walk over there to say,
That's what I was
Greta
about to say.
sent
So
me.
you let them walk away, or you
Must.
walk them over there
We
yourself?
walk them over there because it's a must. This is you. You should know what I know, and I should find what you need at this event, and I know who they are. I've got the 411 on the road with all the amazing designers that I share spaces with, it's like a road family.
It sounds to me like you should be running the vendor piece of the festivals you go to, because you really have that's a nice concept.
It's a wonderful idea. I tend to carry other people's designs in my space, in my 10 by 10, because they're not traveling. They have a valuable product. I believe in their product, and I bring them along with me.
Now, when you say 10 by 10, you mean that's the size
of the
vendor
space,
space, right? Because
yes.
my husband used to vend African art,
Yeah.
and he used to do Atlantic and all these other festivals. He says they've kind of changed, and they're not as pure, if you will. So they get flooded with a lot of crap, and you got to kind of dig to find the really authentic stuff.
Absolutely.
But Sharon,
Absolutely.
that's interesting to me that you would be open to sharing
Yes,
a
we
space
share.
with other designers.
We share with other designers, and not necessarily an entire space. Well, then we'll need a 10 by 20. But there are designers who should be seen and should be heard about. And for the last 10, 15 years, I have taken several artists with me, even if it's 6 items, 3 items, because I think it needs to be seen. Pass out their cards so that, because in my booth, you always have something for us, is what I've been told. You always bring us something great. And it's not, they think it's mine, but it really is somebody else's. But the conceptualizing of it is mine.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's drawn to.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
They don't even need to know that it's not mine. They don't even ask. You have it. We know you have something for us. Because I go around now and look at my peers, look at my community, see who is developing, see who is emerging, and bring them along with me because we must. They get lost.
How do you market and promote your stuff?
I self-market. I am on Instagram, Simply Greta Designs. I am on Facebook, Simply Greta. and then we just do emails, flood the market, and we travel.
Did you have a website?
I don't have a website. I had to put that on hold for a moment.
Thank you for that little segue right there.
Yeah.
So now you and I,
Yeah.
we were doing this when there
Yeah.
was no internet.
You know it.
There was no social media. There was a
Know
very different way
Yep.
of doing things.
Yep.
So now when I had, I'm gonna shout you out. When I had Renald White on here,
Yes, yes. I
he's
enjoyed
new
his segment.
to this social media stuff, and that, you know, as you come in as an older person coming into it, it's not easy to navigate, and it takes a lot of your time because you're constantly updating and telling people, you know, where your stuff is and
Yep.
how to get followers and all that
Yep.
stuff. Do you find that helps or kind of hinders you, or are you interested in learning about?
I do some of it, but I rather somebody who really loves that world,
'Cause
let
it's-
them
it's-
do
it
that.
can be tedious.
It's their world, but I know exactly how I want it to look, what I want them to know about what I know in order to put that. So I'm in it, but I'm not actually,
Conceptualize
you know,
it.
yes,
That's
you know,
what
I'm
you
in
do.
it.
But
Yeah.
you hire somebody to
Yeah.
do that for
Yeah.
you, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to suggest.
Yes.
Because if you, especially if, and he's working on his book.
Yep.
So if you're trying to sell a book, you have to have that social media
Yep.
piece.
Must.
Because you can be legendary, you can be a pioneer, and I learned all of this coming up in this myself. But this generation may not know who you are.
Exactly.
So you might have a wonderful book, but if they don't know who you are, how are you
Exactly.
going to sell it? So
Exactly.
you got to be on that social media,
Exactly.
meeting people. You got to go to things and maybe not get any money, but you want people to see your face.
Yep.
So that when your book comes out, they'll be
Yep.
able to put something with that face.
And most people are talking about podcasts right now. Maybe
Yeah.
not so much of a book, but podcasts, the ebook type of thing is a little easier. You know, I hear that a lot with the millennials. Oh, Greta, you should podcast. You
Yeah,
know.
I've heard about the
Yeah,
podcasting
yeah,
piece. I don't mind that
yeah.
because that's like, for me, it's like
almost
listening to
this.
the radio
Sure,
show.
Sure.
But what was the other thing you said? Books, ebooks?
Yeah.
I don't do those.
Yeah.
I'm a
love to read.
nerd.
Yeah.
I love picking up a book
Yeah.
and flipping through the pages and getting
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
and letting my imagination run away from me. I
Yeah.
don't get that reading on a computer.
Yeah.
Give me a headache.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
always
understand.
be
I
the one
totally
for
understand.
an actual
Yeah.
a book. But a
Yeah.
podcast? What would your podcast be like? What would you podcast about?
Fit and flow. One of the segments in my podcast will be fit and flow. You talked about the plus size sisters, our voluptuous, beautiful sisters who are always pulling down. And, you know, if it isn't fitting, it's not going to flow. You're always going to be pulling down. And if you're an 8 and a 10 fits, buy a 10.
Come on, church! Yes.
You know, if you're a 10 and a 12 fit, buy a 12 because it's about the fit. You shouldn't be pulling down. If the bra isn't fitting well and it's a demi cup, maybe it's for the nighttime. You know, and you get the bra that really works, that takes care of all of this loveliness that we have. So you're not constantly pulling and tucking and uncomfortable. You know, so
And you
buy
should
the
look
size
neat.
that fit.
You should be neat
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everyone can see when you're uncomfortable. So
Yes,
why would you not
yes,
wear the thing that you
yes,
feel comfortable in and you're going to look your most beautiful in?
Yes, that's a whole segment of a podcast for me. It's about fit and flow and the value and the value of who you are. You know, why compromise that? You know, let's make that the true thing, that's who you are. This is who you are. You're 36, 42, 62, whatever.
And you
that might
owning
be.
it,
Yes,
okay?
let's do it.
You owning it.
Let's do it. Let's be that girl. You know, so number one. And the next thing I would celebrate is my travel. You know, having a style book on the road with my fellow artisans that's in all these cities, you know, just that travel book with the compliments, the testimonies,
You have a
the
book?
customers. No, but it's necessary.
Are you
know,
working
that
on a
travel
book?
book?
Because I seem to be telling that to everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like if you got like double-digit years
Yeah.
in this industry,
Yeah.
you need a book.
It's a documentary,
Yeah.
you know, of my life on the road. So I'm collaborating with some folks about that, and every city that we're in tells a story.
Absolutely.
Every city that we're in, we pick up designers and artists who needs the knowledge of who we are. Like you said, if they don't know who we are, they wouldn't even be reading this book. Who are these people? You know.
What about
So-
like a trunk? So remember like Ebony Fashion Fair
Yes,
used to
yes.
do?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Now, when I had
Yeah.
Audrey on, she said the reason that nobody's doing that anymore
Yeah.
is because it's too expensive. There has to be a way around that.
I am with you on that.
There
I
has
have
to
been
be a way
talking
around
about
that.
that for the longest, even up till recently in New Orleans. You know,
there has
when
to
are
be
you
a
guys
way
going to come to
around that.
Mississippi and Texas? I'm like, you know what? We need that traveling show again, like Ebony Fashion Fair.
Does Essence do
Yeah.
fast? And I've been on a speaker on a panel at Essence Fest once. But do they do fashion shows?
Very rare.
Because I've not
Yeah.
seen that.
No, very rare. I have not either.
And that's
You
a
know?
city that is begging
Yeah.
for a really good all them
Yes.
plus size women
Yes.
that's out there.
Yes.
Oh, that show would
Yes.
kill.
Yes.
Essence, y'all need to
Yeah.
reach out to a sister.
Yeah.
Y'all really need
Yeah.
to reach out to
Yeah.
me. Let's do this. Let's
Yes.
collaborate because
Yes.
y'all need this.
Yes. And that show needs to travel once
Yes, it
again.
does.
Oh my
Yes, it does.
God! I
Yes, it
just
does.
every week I'm someplace or every month that comes up in conversation. So this is the spot.
Yes, because I
Yeah.
remember
It's
when
important.
Ebony was doing it, this was a big event.
Yes.
We went out and got
Yes,
outfits and
yes,
everything. We got
yes,
hyped
yes,
for this.
Yes.
And
That
then it
needs
just
to be
sort of
done again.
faded,
Yes,
and I was like-
yes. We need to pick that up again, and that's part of my
Because
collaborating
I've seen more
right
than
now.
enough crappy fashion
Yes,
shows to
yes.
know that there's a need for this one.
You know,
And
there's
to do it
enough
with
oh my
maybe
gosh.
independent designers.
Absolutely.
Not well-known ones, but new and up-and-coming designers.
Absolutely. I don't know if you went to one of the Harlem fashion shows with Tandra and her daughter. They do Harlem Fashion Week at the City Museum of New York. I will encourage you to visit that show one day. Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I think that every time it's happening,
a good segment
I'm
for them.
not.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it off camera,
We'll
but
talk about
I've been
that.
missing it.
Yes, and I think you should go. I think you should check them out. They're doing quite a bit up in Harlem.
And that's different than the Harlem Week
Absolutely.
show.
The Harlem Week show is that Harlem Week, Harlem Fashion Week. They control the
Oh.
Harlem Fashion Week.
Okay, so that's
Mother
with
and daughter
Deborah
team.
Williams, or is this?
It's Tandra and her daughter.
I don't think I know her,
Yeah,
but I'd like
okay.
to know her.
You need to know
because I've
her.
been trying to get into that
You
for
need
the
to know her.
longest,
You need to know her.
and not as a model.
No, she needs you behind the scene, actually. Yeah, she would love that. Yeah.
Okay.
I will share that with you and pass on some information. I think that would be brilliant.
Now you travel all over the United States. Do you
Yes.
travel outside and the Caribbean, of course? I know
Yeah.
you.
I've done some things in Bermuda and quite a bit of fashion shows there. But in terms of fashion, yes, but I've gone to India for a moment.
What was
spent
that
some time
like?
there.
Did
That
you
was
get
very
beautiful fabrics
interesting.
there?
Beautiful fabrics, made some samples. And you definitely need company in India. You cannot go to India by yourself. I ended up in India
As a
alone.
woman?
Yeah, because you need agents to take you through places that you won't normally get into.
Okay.
And so on. So India needs agents. You need to know.
You have an agent?
I had an agent when I went there. And I went to India with a friend, and our time got mixed up. And she had to go to another part of India, and I ended up in India by myself. It was quite an amazing time. I shed tears for a few minutes because it was early in the morning when I got in, and she was leaving on a train to Pune. And there was a brother there running the hotel. His name was Mukesh. Mukesh said, Madam, you cannot go to India. You cannot get on the train, rather, without a ticket. I know nothing about the ticket. I didn't have a ticket. Our times were mixed up. She was heading out. I was heading in. And Mr. Mukesh took me under his wing. I did not know this man from Adam. I had to trust. I was much younger. And I ended up in India for 2 weeks with Mukesh and Mr. Lillette and their family. I ended up staying with the family 1 week, and I stayed in a hotel another week. And I went all over Pune and different places and so on, and found what I needed in India. It was quite something. I'm nervous just talking about it right now.
I can only imagine.
It was quite something.
That's pretty brave to stick that out.
Totally. I could have, I'm like, well, am I going back or am I staying? And I had to man up and put on those big girl's panties, like they say, and do my thing in India. And I trusted this brother he changed hotels, got me someplace else a little closer to where I needed to be, and the day started, and it all began. I opened the door, and it was just saris and color. And then the homelessness on one side, and the other side was another thing.
Yeah.
They were all, the cows were pulling whatever on the street, everything was in one. And you had to learn how to cross the street on a dime because everything was coming. Street lights was none. It was just you, the taxi, the cow, the people, and everything else in India. I'm like, whoa. So after having that experience for a few days, I calmed down. I got to understand how to cross, and you had to run, and my driver would scoot me across the street. Madame, let's go. We've got to go. You know, can't walk and look and this and that. You can't gaze. Cross the street and let's go. And then when you cross, you could do all the other things. So I spent time there for a couple of weeks, and it was great for me. I learned a lot. I traveled alone, and I met this Mr. Mukesh brother named was Mr. Lillette. He drove this old Range Rover, and he became my driver. This Range Rover was classic, and we passed places that I would never think I would end up in India, and
Like
we
what?
prayed. We went to the river to pray. Every time we passed the river, throw the money in the water. You know, I went to dinner with families. I wore saris. I love saris.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I love saris.
So what kind of inspiration did you get from that
Oh my
trip?
gosh,
What did the
color.
collection that came out of that
It
look
was
like?
more color. It was just bright. Everything had to be bright for me after that. Everything had to be shawls. I love scarves. I brought back eons of scarves. It was all about shawls and bicycles and things like that. Taking images on bicycles. Everybody was side saddling on a bicycle. And it was just so interesting. The women were on bicycles but side saddling, the husband and the baby in the middle and things like
What?
that. Yes, and that's kind of how it is in Thailand and some of those places also.
All right. Now, you already gave me your social media information because I think
Yes.
we're just about out of time.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank my guest, Greta Wallace, for sharing her industry knowledge with us today. Now, before I go, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts. I want you to, 1, remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. 2, always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. Do what you love and love what you do. And lastly, be who you are, but be who you are tastefully. Always have some class about yourself. Now don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. And if you missed an episode of Model Behavior, now you can view the previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Just Google Model Behavior with Sharon Quinn and all of the previous episodes will come up. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see you guys next week. Class is officially dismissed. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.